this marabou on the top of the hook shank, as you can see. Now, you're going to start getting used to gauging your material, what they call gauging. I am right hand dominant, so I'm going to hold this with my right hand. It's going to come out of my fingernail, as you can see, like that. So it's going to come out straight. I'm not holding it like this. I'm not holding it like that. I am holding it very closely. I know I'm holding it in a way that I'm going to end up transferring it from one hand to the next. Now I want my tail, in this case, to be about, it's probably hard to tell because this hook is so big, but it's about 1.5 inches long. You can make your tail bushy. You can use 2 feathers. You can use 1. In this case, I'm using 1, and it's not very thick. It's thin, sparse, as we call it. Now, I am going to place that down so that the edge of my thumbnail is right where my thread is. And I'm going to transfer, and I'm going to join my thumbnails together. Okay, almost like I'm trying to make a little butt crack with my fingernails. I'm going to join those together, and I'm going to pinch this. Now when I pinch this, can you see there's like a white line on my fingernail? I'm pinching it pretty good. It's not, you can tell when I relax it, and when I pinch it, I'm holding it really good. Now when I relaxed it, all this feather kind of went from what was about the size of a toothpick to now about the size of half a pencil. I'm going to redo it. It's really important that you get this so that it's dense. Okay, it's not just loosely held, it's dense, like as tight as you can get it. Again, I'm going to place it down so that the edge of my thumbnail is right even with my thread. And then I'm going to make my little butt crack thing, and I'm going to exchange it to this hand. Now, when I come up, I'm actually going to go through and push the thread back in between my fingers a little bit. The common error with beginners is to loosen up your grip. And when you do that, everything goes to hell in a handbasket. So just don't do that. Bring your thread up, keeping it nice and tight, and make 3 or 4 of those kind of pinching, binding kind of wraps. And when you do that, it's going to hold that material in. Now I'm going to make a couple extra wraps, 3 or 4 wraps, just to keep that nice and secure. Now I'm going to trim. So this is the first time that we've trimmed anything. And the secret to trimming is that you hold the material with one hand, you put a little bit of tension on it, and then you kind of push down and bury those scissors as close as you can without cutting your thread. That's how you handle that. Get rid of your trash however you want to. Now it's a good idea after you trim to just kind of, don't make a big bulky mess. You're noticing every time I do this, I do 3, 4, maybe 5 wraps at the most. I don't keep on wrapping, because every time you keep wrapping, you're going to add more bulk. And then on small flies, you're going to lose space. So I added in my tail, and it's good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some Crystal Flash. I'm just going to grab a little bit of it. Now, I'm going to be like Bob Ross, who says, the painter with the afro, probably smoked a lot of fun stuff when he was a kid. You know, it's your fly. You can do what you want to do. If you want, you can add a lot of flash or a little bit. You can add your flash on the top. You can put 2 pieces. You can put some flash on that side and a flash on that side. I am going to put it on the top, and the reason I'm going to put it on the top is because it's easy for you to see. If I was going to do this for myself, I probably would put it on each side. Okay, again, pinching, kind of jamming it in between my fingers like that, carefully. That was a little bit fast. I should probably work a little slower. And then a couple extra wraps to hold it on, and that's it. Okay? And take your time and be smooth with everything. The next thing is, we're going to grab some of this chenille. Now I'll give you a trick with chenille. What you want to do is you want to pull a little bit of this off, and you want to expose, I'm going to cut that, expose the core material right there. Because when you wrap it in, you're going to wrap it in. See how I'm holding it with my right hand? I'm kind of gauging it. And I'm setting it up because I want to attach this right there, right at the intercept of the core material and the fluffy stuff of the chenille. I can even attach it up there. If I attach it up here, it's going to add a lot of extra bulk. So I want to try to attach the thinnest part of the material as I can. That's a general rule you're going to find with fly tying, is you always try to attach the thin part of the material. That way it doesn't add a lot of bulk to your hook shank. So there you go. There you have it. I just attached it. I've got a little bit of stuff here. Now in my case, I'm actually going to leave that piece right there, and I'm going to wrap it right in, because eventually I need to move my thread up to the eye. Now I'm going to take this material and I'm going to pass it from one hand to the next. My right hand is taking it behind the hook shank, my left hand is bringing it up, and then I'm changing hands. And as you can see, I'm putting them one after another, but they're at a little bit of an angle, so they're kind of going one after another. Now, here's another error everybody does. They wrap everything right all the way up to the hook eye like this. You never have enough room to do your head, and you're going to make a terrible looking fly. So what you want to do is, you always want to leave about the same width as your hook eye for tying off your head or doing whatever you're going to do. So I'm going to back this off to right about there. Now, I'm going to drop my thread over the chenille to lock it in. Now I'm actually going to bring this back to show you what not to do, because a lot of people, when they do this move, they will take it way back like that, and that is just plain wrong. Don't do that. Okay? Take your thread, and when you drop it over, you want to drop it right in that cavity, that crevice right there. That's where you want to do it. So we're going to drop it in like this, and then like that. I'm going to do that 3, 4. I'm going to do it one more time because this hook's pretty good size. Now I'm going to cut again, and this time when I cut, you can see what I'm going to do is I'm going to brace my hand with my pinky over here. I'm going to hold my hand on the vise. If I try to just hold it like this, especially after all the scotch I've had, I'm going to be shaky. So I'm going to hold my hand and brace it with my pinky. Now I'm going to take another finger and I'm going to hold it on the vise over here. Now I kind of got like this tripod thing going on, so everything's nice and steady. Now I can get my scissors in there and I can cut that in one snip. Okay? Don't go in like this and just cut away and not know what you're doing. Don't cut it so close. Don't cut it out here to be safe and leave a whole bunch of junk. Just man up and cut it and take your time. Now once I did that, now I got all this excess stuff here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this in. And to get started, we are not going to whip finish. We are just going to half hitch. And in order to half hitch, if you remember, I told you that there is this tool here called a half hitch tool. This is part of my bodkin. Okay? And I'm going to wrap the thread around that like this, and I'm going to just pull it off of this hook eye. Is so big it's difficult. Wrap it around that, pull it off, wrap it around, pull it off. I've seen people do the same thing with a Bic pen and take off the pen writing part. Oops, this hook eye is so big, but still you'll get the point. And I'm doing a bunch of these just to be nice and safe. That one didn't go. Do one more. And bam, we're on. Okay, it's tight. It's good to go. Now there's another way that you can do this too with your fingers. It's difficult to see. What you do is you take both of your index finger and your middle finger, and just like you were wrapping around this tool, you're going to wrap it around these two fingers like this. and then you can place it behind the hook eye
in a lifetime,
and pull it up. I'll try to do more of those for you.
and as they fade in my rearview mirror,
Cut it.
I find something
I'm gonna grab some of this
to call
cement.
mine.
I'm gonna put that
Turn the wood on a corner post,
onto the thread.
a
That's
church steeple in the
all it
sun,
is. It'll work.
sidewalk smile I won't soon forget. I'm not jaded yet. Well, I've heard enough to sing the blues for something or for someone. Blue ain't it